This program is about the family of Robert Glover and Ruth Simmons Whitten. This was prepared by BobWhitten in February 1993 from old photographs, slides, and movies. This is Glover and Ruth at their 50th wedding anniversary, which was December the 10th, 1960. Hereafter, I'll refer to them as Dad and Mama. This is Dad's father, Robert Johnson Whitten. He grew up in Alabama, but apparently could not get along with his stepmother, so he left home and went to Georgia, where he met and later married Grandma. This is Dad's mother, Lucy Emma Davis Whitten. Grandma said that when they decided to move to Texas, they went back to Alabama and visited his family, and that was the only time she ever saw them. Grandpa died in 1904 and is buried in Bell County. They were the parents of 4 boys and 5 girls. Both the Whitten and Simmons families can be traced back to the 1700s, living and farming in the southeastern part of the U.S. Dad and Mama's parents migrated to Texas in the late 1800s and settled in Bell County, where the families first became acquainted. This is Dad as a young boy. I do not know when this picture was taken. This is Grandma in the front center on her 90th birthday. In the back row is Dad's brother Luther, Dad, Lillian Ruth, Mary Edith, and a welder, Ida, known as Ailey. In this picture, Dad is on the left. Jewel is next, Luther, and Ernest. This picture was probably taken sometime in the 1920s, and I assume in somewhere in Oklahoma City. This is Grandma with her birthday cake at her 90th birthday, July the 4th, 1950. This is also at Grandma's 90th birthday. She is about the center of the picture, seated on the front porch out at Dad and Mama's home. A large number of children, spouses, and grandkids are in this picture. This is Mama's parents, Horace Greeley and Priscilla Thompson Simmons. This is Mama's brothers and sisters and spouses taking it out at Mom and Dad's home sometime in the early 1930s. I think this was the first Simmons reunion that was held. This is Dad and Mama in the living room at their home out on the farm. Both the Whitten and the Simmons family moved from Bell County to the Talbot community in Wilbarger County sometime in the early 1900s. Dad's family later moved to Oklahoma City. Dad came back to Talbot and married Mama and they moved to Oklahoma City where they lived for a few years. Dad was working for the Power and Light Company as a carpenter, building concrete utility poles. He later worked on the construction crew erecting these poles for power lines. After a few years, they moved back to the Talbert community, and where Dad farmed for a few years, and then later moved to the Rayland community in Ford County, where he took up farming. This is a farmhouse on Dad's farm about 2 miles west of Rayland. This picture was taken, I believe, in 1988. Looks kind of messy with all the refrigerators and TVs and other junk on the front porch. Sort of depressing. This is where all the kids in the family grew up. This is the front step on the farmhouse. The builder scratched Dad's name and the date, February the 5th, 1930, when he built a house. We moved into this house February the 12th, 1930. Another picture of the farmhouse. Dad had bought this farm sometime in the late 1920s and started building this house in 1929. It had 3 large bedrooms, a large living room, large dining room, a kitchen, this great front porch, plus a back porch, and a full bathroom. This house cost a little over $2,800 when it was built. Quite a bargain. This is Dad and Mama at their 50th wedding anniversary, which was December the 10th, 1960. I have a few other pictures of Dad and Mama taken at various times, which I'll show. The next few pictures I've tried to group by family. This is Mary, Lloyd, and Mike, and Randy down front. This is Lloyd with Mike out in the backyard at Dad and Mama's. Lloyd in his Navy uniform, probably in 1943. Lloyd and Jim and I and Elizabeth's husband, Charles Earthman, all served in the military during World War II. All of us were in the Pacific Theater. Lloyd was on a submarine tender. Charles was in a Navy construction battalion. Jim and I were both in infantry units. Rex joined the Air Force in 1947 and served a 20-year career as an aircraft engineer on air refueling tankers. He saw service in Europe, the Pacific, and in Africa. Joe saw service during the Korean War on Okinawa and in Korea in an Army construction battalion. Since that time, several grandchildren and great-grandchildren have served in the military, and some are still serving. Mike and Randy. Lloyd's family had Dad and Mama's 50th wedding anniversary. Lloyd in the center with Mike and Randy. Mike Whitten. Michelle Whitten. Jim and Dorothy. Jim with Jerry and Patricia. And the cat. Patricia Whitten. Tom Whitten and his wife Holly. Patricia, Dorothy, and Jim and Tom down front. This is Dad and Mama's 50th wedding anniversary. Tom and Holly. Jerry and Tom Whitten in the back with Danny Babcock, Patricia in front of Danny, and Greg and Brian down front. Scott Whitten with Greg and Brian Babcock. Dan, Patricia, and Greg Babcock. Harley and Merlene Cato. Steve Cato. Jamie Cato. Steve, Merlene, and Arlie. The Butler family had Dad and Mama's 50th wedding anniversary. Larry, Ann, Geraldine, Herschel, and Shane in front, and Kent in the rear. The Butler family. Kent Butler. Elizabeth, Geraldine, and Herschel. The Herschel holding Ashley forward. This is Elizabeth with Bobby and all of his family. Benjamin Earthman. Bobby, Elizabeth, Brenda, and Keith. Elizabeth with kids and grandkids. Bob Whitten, probably about the first or second grade, Bob Whitten again, about 1943. Bob and Maida cutting the wedding cake, July 1949. Another wedding picture, Bob and Maida. Maida and Bob, Sandra and Suzanne at Mom and Pop's wedding anniversary. Stacy, Suzanne, Sandra, Bob, and Maida. Bride and groom, Suzanne and Homer Ford, with Maida, Stacy, Sandra, and Bob. Stacy, Sandra, and Suzanne Whitten. Homer and Suzanne Ford with their daughter Ashley. Dan Allen and Sandra Whitten at their wedding. Stacy and Monty McCullough at their wedding reception. Bob, Maida, Stacy, and Monty McCullough at their wedding reception. Holly and Ashley Ford on the left and Jeffrey McCullough on the right. Rex Whitten. Rex and Juanita. Some of Rex and Juanita's family. Rex and Juanita and Pam, Pam holding Heather. This is Rex on an early fishing trip. Rex, probably a early school picture. This is Rex and Anita and some of their kids out on Mom and Dad's front porch. Some more Rex and Anita and their family. Still more of Rex and Anita and family. Joe Whitten here playing in the fishbowl. It's probably taking about 1934, 35. Jim and Joanne Whitten. Jim and Joanne. This is Joanne Whitten. This is Geraldine, Merledine in the back row, Bob, Jim, and Lloyd. Down front is Geraldine, Dad, Mama, and Elizabeth. Charles Earthman on the far left, Elizabeth and Juanita. Maida and Juanita in 1949. Brenda Earthman, Randy Whitten, and Ann Butler, I believe. This is a group of the Whitten grandkids. Keith Earthman, Larry Butler, Jamie, and Fred Cato. That's a hard picture to copy. Bob and Elizabeth in the backyard out at Dad's Mama's home. Bob holding Brenda. This is taken one of the Simmons reunions at Vernon. That's Rex in the back there on the left, and then Geraldine, Jim, Elizabeth, Merledine and Mom in the front, and Bob back in the back behind Merledine. That's Tom Whitten, Suzanne, and Sandra Whitten. It's Suzanne's 6th birthday. Larry Butler and Steve Cato. Tom Whitten, his wife Holly, and Sandra Whitten. Sandra Allen as it is now. Rex, Elizabeth, Geraldine, Merledine, and Bob. This was at the Simmons reunion at Lake Murray, Oklahoma. This is at the Simmons reunion in 1972 at Vernon. And over on the left is Rex and Bob and Maida with Suzanne and Sandra down front. And Elizabeth. I believe that's Geraldine with Jim in the back, Merledine, and I guess Dorothy behind her, Mama, and Arlie. Another picture of the same group. Geraldine, Elizabeth, Mary Donovan, and Merledine at Dad and Mama's 50th anniversary. Sunday dinner at Dad and Mama's. This is some of the Whitten family here, kids and grandkids, spouses, at one of the Simmons reunions. I believe this was at the Armory at Vernon. Rex and Nita's girls with little Rex. And over at the right is Stacy Whitten, and down at the bottom there is Greg Babcock. This is out at the Vernon Armory at the Simmons reunions. Elizabeth, Lloyd, Geraldine, and Mama and Jim back to the back, Merledine and Bob and Dad over on the right. Rex, Bob, Jim, Lloyd, and Dad. Some of the Whitten family at a Simmons reunion at Lake Pauline. Bob, Elizabeth, Merledine, and Geraldine, and then Lloyd and Rex in the back. Same group, different picture. a group of the Whitten grandchildren. Not all of them by any means. This is Dorothy with Mama, and down front is Brian and Greg Babcock. This is Merledine and Geraldine's high school class, April Fool's Day 1933 at West Wayland High School. I think that was a high school. This is that well-known spa and health resort, that old swimming hole over in Dad's pasture. Great place if you didn't mind the mud. This is followed by some home movies that have been spliced together. They're from various things, anniversaries, family reunions, and so forth. There's no particular sequence, but anyhow, it's some pictures.
Did anybody see where Ben went? You hear, say anything? The frozen lemonade?
Yes.
We couldn't get the stuff, we walked up there. They said it's frozen lemonade.
Clayton, say smile, smile, children, smile.
We didn't ride the railway track, did we? You know.
Hold the line on and we started, and I thought, why is she locking this thing like that? Come by and check
Run
it
away.
out.
I thought they were taking that strange fellas up in the
The roaring rapids. I rode some of the roller coasters when we were here a few weeks ago, but I didn't ride that, so I think jerks, so basically, the roller coasters are smooth.
Where's everyone going? Six Flags. Have a lot of fun. Okay. Well, it's August the 25th, 1992, and we're at Cloudcroft, New Mexico, in Elizabeth's house, having Thanksgiving dinner a few months early.
In Cloudcroft.
Yeah, in Cloudcroft. And have a good turkey dinner with a cranberry sauce and salad and something out here on the table. Elizabeth and Geraldine and I are going to sit down here and have a great meal here in a few minutes. Where'd Merledine go? The restroom?
I sure wanted to get my picture slaving over the hot stove.
Well, anyhow,
Opening all these packages of food, you know.
a couple of chefs back here in the kitchen, Elizabeth and Geraldine, and Merledine is back there somewhere. She'll be out in a little bit. I think Elizabeth's probably stirring the gravy, or
Stirring the gravy.
or she may be making us another drink. I don't know. Well, Merledine showed up, and she's back here slicing a little bit more turkey because it's not. Maybe. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say what you were going to say.
Well, I don't know what I was going to say, really. I think that's enough now, don't you?
I believe that is enough turkey.
Well, okay.
You want us to say anything?
We don't want to look like we're posing.
No,
it's kind of natural.
now what makes the video, the audio?
Let's take it.
Oh, all this is recording.
Oh yeah, we're
Oh, okay.
you're on candid camera there, Liz.
Okay. Well, all right now, Bob. What was your chore that you?
Well, I'm supposed to
Yeah.
either pouring the wine or holding the iced tea. I'm not sure which it is. It really doesn't
Okay.
matter. As long
Okay.
as we get to eat.
Okay. We're almost there. Looks good.
Okay, just make.
Okay. So this is where we finally came to spend our vacation.
Elizabeth is paying the bill.
Yeah. With part of my tips this summer.
You're moving the camera too fast.
Oh, okay, you gotta go slow.
Yeah.